Welcome back to Longevity Talk, and if you like this content, please share and subscribe to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most crucial molecules for your health and longevity. We're talking about nitric oxide, or NO, a simple yet powerful molecule that could be the key to extending your health span. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this molecule matters so much. And more importantly, you'll know exactly what you can do to optimize your nitric oxide levels starting today. So let's get started with the science behind this remarkable molecule. First, let's understand what nitric oxide actually is. Nitric oxide is one of the simplest molecules in biology, consisting of just one nitrogen atom and one oxygen atom. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This tiny molecule is one of the most important signaling compounds in your entire body. Your body produces nitric oxide primarily in the endothelial cells that line your blood vessels, using an enzyme called nitric oxide synthase, or NOS. There are actually 3 different types of nitric oxide synthase enzymes in your body: neuronal NOS in your nervous system, inducible NOS in your immune cells, and endothelial NOS in your blood vessel walls. Each type serves different functions, but today we're focusing primarily on endothelial NOS because of its crucial role in cardiovascular health. The primary substrate for NO production is the amino acid L-arginine, which gets converted to nitric oxide and L-citrulline. But this process requires several important cofactors, including tetrahydrobiopterin or BH4, along with NADPH, FAD, FMN, and heme. When any of these cofactors are deficient, NO production becomes impaired. Now that we understand what nitric oxide is and how it's made, let's explore what this molecule actually does in your body. Because NO is a gas, it can easily diffuse across cell membranes to reach its target tissues. This makes it an incredibly efficient signaling molecule, but also means it has a very short half-life. In fact, nitric oxide only lasts for a few seconds before it's broken down, which is why continuous production is so important. This short half-life means your body needs to constantly produce nitric oxide to maintain its beneficial effects. So what exactly does nitric oxide do that makes it so crucial for your health? The primary and most well-known function of nitric oxide is vasodilation, the relaxation and widening of your blood vessels. When nitric oxide is released from your endothelial cells, it causes the smooth muscle in your vessel walls to relax. This happens through activation of an enzyme called guanylyl cyclase, which increases levels of cyclic GMP, ultimately leading to muscle relaxation. This vasodilation has profound effects on your cardiovascular system and overall health. First, it helps regulate blood pressure by reducing vascular resistance and improving blood flow. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your tissues and organs. But nitric oxide does much more than just dilate blood vessels. It also prevents platelets from sticking together and forming dangerous clots. This antiplatelet effect is crucial for preventing heart attacks and strokes. Nitric oxide also protects the delicate endothelial lining of your blood vessels from inflammation and damage. It does this by preventing inflammatory cells from adhering to vessel walls and by reducing oxidative stress. But nitric oxide's benefits extend far beyond your cardiovascular system. In your nervous system, nitric oxide acts as a neurotransmitter, playing important roles in memory formation and learning. Research shows that optimal nitric oxide levels are associated with better cognitive performance and may help protect against neurodegenerative diseases. Your immune system also uses nitric oxide as a weapon against pathogens, helping to kill bacteria, viruses, and other harmful microorganisms. This antimicrobial effect is one reason why maintaining healthy NO levels supports your overall immune function. Nitric oxide also plays a crucial role in exercise performance by improving blood flow to working muscles and enhancing oxygen delivery. This is why many athletes are interested in strategies to optimize their nitric oxide production. Additionally, nitric oxide promotes wound healing by stimulating the formation of new blood vessels and supporting tissue repair. Given all these important functions, you can imagine what happens when nitric oxide production becomes impaired. Unfortunately, many common health conditions are directly linked to reduced nitric oxide bioavailability, and that's what we'll explore next. When nitric oxide production becomes impaired, the consequences for your health can be severe and far-reaching. The first and most critical consequence is endothelial dysfunction, which is considered the earliest stage of cardiovascular disease. Without adequate nitric oxide, your blood vessels lose their ability to dilate properly, leading to increased blood pressure and reduced blood flow. This sets the stage for atherosclerosis, where inflammatory cells and lipids accumulate in your artery walls, forming dangerous plaques. These plaques can rupture, leading to heart attacks and strokes, which remain the leading causes of death worldwide. The reduced antiplatelet effects of impaired nitric oxide production make these thrombotic events even more likely. Research consistently shows that people with cardiovascular disease have significantly impaired nitric oxide bioavailability. Hypertension, or high blood pressure, is directly linked to reduced nitric oxide-mediated vasodilation. One of the most well-recognized consequences of impaired nitric oxide function is erectile dysfunction. Erectile function depends entirely on nitric oxide-mediated dilation of penile arteries and relaxation of smooth muscle in erectile tissue. When nitric oxide production is impaired, blood flow to erectile tissue becomes insufficient, resulting in erectile dysfunction. This is exactly why medications like Viagra work by enhancing the nitric oxide cGMP pathway. In fact, erectile dysfunction is often considered an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease. Impaired nitric oxide also contributes to peripheral artery disease, where reduced blood flow to your legs causes pain and cramping during exercise. This condition, known as claudication, significantly impacts quality of life and mobility. Reduced nitric oxide bioavailability also affects brain function, contributing to cognitive decline and potentially increasing dementia risk. The brain requires excellent blood flow and nitric oxide signaling for optimal cognitive performance. Your kidneys are also vulnerable to nitric oxide deficiency as they rely on precise blood flow regulation for proper filtration. Chronic kidney disease is strongly associated with impaired nitric oxide bioavailability and endothelial dysfunction. The consequences of impaired nitric oxide extend beyond the cardiovascular system to affect your metabolism as well. Reduced nitric oxide bioavailability contributes to insulin resistance by impairing blood flow to muscle tissue and reducing glucose uptake. This creates a vicious cycle where insulin resistance further impairs nitric oxide production, worsening endothelial dysfunction. This is why people with diabetes develop so many vascular complications affecting their eyes, kidneys, and nerves. The relationship between nitric oxide and metabolic health demonstrates how interconnected our body systems really are. Now that we understand the serious consequences of impaired nitric oxide function, let's examine what lifestyle factors contribute to this problem. Unfortunately, many aspects of modern lifestyle directly impair your body's ability to produce and utilize nitric oxide. High sugar intake is one of the most damaging factors for nitric oxide production, causing oxidative stress that directly impairs the eNOS enzyme. When you consume excess sugar, it leads to the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which damage your endothelial cells. Chronic high insulin levels from insulin resistance also directly impair nitric oxide synthase function, creating a destructive cycle. This is why maintaining stable blood sugar and insulin sensitivity is crucial for optimal nitric oxide production. Processed foods containing preservatives, trans fats, and artificial additives promote systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. This inflammatory state directly interferes with nitric oxide production and accelerates endothelial dysfunction. Smoking is particularly devastating for nitric oxide function, with tobacco toxins directly damaging endothelial cells and promoting oxidative stress. Even secondhand smoke exposure can significantly impair nitric oxide production and endothelial function. A sedentary lifestyle also impairs nitric oxide function by reducing the mechanical stimuli that promote eNOS activation. Regular physical activity creates shear stress on blood vessel walls, which is a powerful stimulus for nitric oxide production. Beyond diet and lifestyle choices, several other factors can impair your nitric oxide production. Chronic stress elevates cortisol and other stress hormones that directly impair endothelial function and reduce nitric oxide bioavailability. This is why stress management is not just important for mental health, but crucial for cardiovascular health as well. Poor sleep quality and sleep deprivation also impair nitric oxide function by interfering with endothelial repair processes. During sleep, your endothelial cells undergo important repair processes that maintain their ability to produce nitric oxide. Environmental toxins, including air pollution, Heavy metals and chemical exposures can also impair nitric oxide function. These toxins promote oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which directly interfere with nitric oxide production. Unfortunately, nitric oxide production naturally declines with age due to reduced eNOS expression, increased oxidative stress, and endothelial dysfunction. This age-related decline in nitric oxide is one reason why cardiovascular disease risk increases so dramatically as we get older. Certain medications can also impair nitric oxide function, including some antidepressants, antihistamines, and proton pump inhibitors. But here's the good news. There are many evidence-based interventions that can significantly improve your nitric oxide production and function. Let's explore the most effective strategies for optimizing your nitric oxide production, starting with dietary interventions. The most well-researched dietary approach is consuming nitrate-rich vegetables, particularly beetroot, spinach, arugula, and celery. These vegetables contain inorganic nitrates that your body can convert to nitric oxide through a fascinating pathway. Oral bacteria convert nitrates to nitrites, which are then converted to nitric oxide in your stomach and tissues, especially under low oxygen conditions. This is why maintaining healthy oral bacteria is crucial for nitric oxide production from dietary nitrates. Studies show that drinking beetroot juice can significantly lower blood pressure and improve exercise performance within hours. The research on beetroot and other nitrate-rich vegetables is extensive, with hundreds of studies confirming their cardiovascular benefits. Another important dietary strategy is ensuring adequate intake of L-arginine, the primary substrate for nitric oxide production. While your body can produce some L-arginine, dietary sources become increasingly important as we age. Good sources include nuts, seeds, fish, poultry, and legumes, though supplementation may be beneficial for some people. However, L-citrulline supplementation may actually be more effective than L-arginine for increasing nitric oxide production. Let's examine the most effective supplements for supporting nitric oxide production. L-citrulline is converted to L-arginine in your kidneys, bypassing the liver's first-pass metabolism and providing a more sustained increase in arginine levels. Studies show that L-citrulline supplementation can significantly improve exercise performance and reduce blood pressure. Beetroot extract supplements provide a concentrated source of nitrates without the sugar content of beetroot juice. These supplements are particularly useful for people who want the nitric oxide benefits without consuming large amounts of beetroot juice daily. Supporting cofactors are equally important, including tetrahydrobiopterin precursors, folate, and vitamin C, which help maintain eNOS coupling. When eNOS becomes uncoupled due to cofactor deficiency, it actually produces harmful superoxide instead of beneficial nitric oxide. Antioxidants are crucial for protecting nitric oxide from oxidative destruction, extending its bioavailability and effectiveness. This is why a comprehensive approach including both no precursors and antioxidants is most effective. Polyphenols from sources like dark chocolate, green tea, and berries can actually increase eNOS expression and activity. These compounds work synergistically with nitrate-rich vegetables to optimize nitric oxide production through multiple pathways. Beyond diet and supplements, several lifestyle interventions can dramatically improve your nitric oxide function. Regular exercise is one of the most powerful stimuli for nitric oxide production, creating beneficial shear stress that activates eNOS. Both aerobic exercise and resistance training have been shown to improve endothelial function and nitric oxide bioavailability. High-intensity interval training appears to be particularly effective for stimulating nitric oxide production and endothelial adaptation. Even moderate exercise like brisk walking for 30 minutes daily can significantly improve nitric oxide function. Sunlight exposure provides another pathway for nitric oxide production, with UV light releasing NO directly from skin stores. This mechanism may partially explain why moderate sun exposure is associated with cardiovascular benefits beyond vitamin D production. Cold exposure through cold showers or ice baths can also stimulate endothelial adaptation and improve nitric oxide function. This works through hormetic stress, where controlled exposure to cold stimulates beneficial adaptations in your vascular system. Specific breathing techniques can also support nitric oxide function by improving autonomic nervous system balance and reducing stress. Techniques like box breathing or coherent breathing can help optimize the conditions for nitric oxide production. Optimizing your metabolic health is crucial for maintaining healthy nitric oxide production throughout life. Maintaining insulin sensitivity is particularly important, as insulin resistance directly impairs endothelial function and nitric oxide production. Strategies that improve insulin sensitivity, such as intermittent fasting and low-carbohydrate diets, can significantly enhance nitric oxide function. Ketosis appears to have particular benefits for endothelial function, possibly through reduced oxidative stress and improved mitochondrial function. Metabolic flexibility, the ability to efficiently switch between fuel sources, supports optimal endothelial function. Maintaining a healthy body weight reduces systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which impair nitric oxide function. The key is implementing these strategies in a comprehensive, sustainable way that fits your lifestyle and health goals. Let's bring this all together with a practical approach to optimizing your nitric oxide production. Start with the fundamentals. Include nitrate-rich vegetables in your daily diet, particularly beetroot, spinach, and arugula. Consider timing your nitrate intake around exercise for maximum benefit, and avoid using mouthwash, which can kill the beneficial bacteria needed for nitrate conversion. Consistency is key, as the benefits of improved nitric oxide function compound over time. You may notice improvements in exercise performance and energy within days, while cardiovascular benefits develop over weeks to months. Monitor your progress through improvements in blood pressure, exercise capacity, energy levels, and overall cardiovascular health markers. Work with your healthcare provider to monitor these changes, especially if you're taking medications for blood pressure or other cardiovascular conditions. Nitric oxide represents one of the most important and actionable targets for improving your health and longevity. By understanding and optimizing this simple molecule, you can significantly impact your cardiovascular health, cognitive function, and overall vitality. The strategies we've discussed today are backed by extensive research and can be implemented safely by most people. Start implementing these changes today and give your body the tools it needs to produce this vital molecule optimally. Your future self will thank you for taking action on this crucial aspect of health and longevity. If you found this information valuable, please share this video and subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based longevity content. Until next time, keep optimizing your health for the long game.